Hi Scorpio, welcome to your June 2017 Astro update. It's Rena here. So, what is on tap for you in June? Well, I think there's going to be a great concentration of energy in the ninth house. I don't think, I know that. And the ninth house is Sagittarius' natural house. It's the house of expansion. Now, this can be expanding your knowledge, which means university or some kind of other higher learning. Maybe it's not associated with the university, but let's say you're getting your yoga training, because it can also be issues surrounding religious studies, which broaden your spirituality and your philosophical approach to life. It can be physically expanding by traveling. It's long distance travel, the ninth house. So some of you, this is going to be something that is really featured. Now, in the month of June, of course, it's not unusual for people to take vacations, right? So that might be true for a lot of people, but there's going to be something with you that is beyond that. That's not just about going on a cruise, stuffing your face, and doing God knows what else for 10 days. It's about something that really creates a new phase in your life, because the new moon is going to be in this ninth house as well on the 23rd of June, which is 2 days after the sun enters this sector. Okay, on the solstice. So what does that mean for you? For some people, it can be as simple as you just decide to go back to school. Maybe you're not a kid anymore, but you want to get that degree, or you want to get an advanced degree. Okay, but for some people, this may be spiritual exploration, where you're actually reading books in order to do that, or just experiencing things along those lines. Maybe you go on a retreat that changes your life. I don't know what it would be for you specifically, but I do feel that there is a spiritual vibe going on here. And that brings me to something that is very important. I think for you, this is very spiritual, because Jupiter, the planet of luck and expansion, which actually rules that ninth house in the universal chart, by the way, and rules Sagittarius, is going direct on June 9th, which is the same day as the full moon in Sagittarius, in your 12th house of mysticism, of past lives, karmic situations. What else? Soulmates. That's karmic, right? It's also the house of institutions like prisons and hospitals. So for people who work in that area, this can be a special boon to you, where you have more opportunities. But it can be dealing with anything that is not of this world. It can be very good for inspiration of a more spiritual level, which we could say all inspiration is in spirit. I remember Dr. Dyer saying that about inspiration. But anything to do with your dream life that has a sense of expansion, or your spiritual practices. So Jupiter's going direct in this sector on the same day as the full moon in Sagittarius on June 9th. And so there you have it. You have more spiritual awareness. Speaking of that full moon in Sagittarius, that is going to be in your second house of earned income on June 9th. So that can be very good for possible increase in your income. Sometimes it's said that full moons bring endings, but it can bring heightening, culmination, or we could say maybe you've been working towards something. Maybe you work in a field that you don't get paid on a weekly basis, but you get paid in, like, when you finish a contract or something like that. So you could have all of this coming to you at once. And that can be an increase in your finances in some way from the money that you earn. That's what the second house is all about. So that's going on as well. Mercury is going from your 7th house to your 8th house. Okay. Now, Mercury was in your committed partnership sector in the sign of Taurus, which is your opposite sign, and now is in your natural house. You rule the 8th house, which deals with matters of sex, death, and other people's money. But in this case, we could say the intimacy in terms of what a relationship is all about. So the 7th house is more about the outer trappings, the wedding ring, maybe the marriage license, and all of the proof that you are with a partner, the so-called commitment. But the 8th house is about the nitty-gritty, the down and dirty, if you will, of really bearing your soul to another person. And because Mercury went retrograde in that 7th house, you may have been kind of renegotiating your marriage. You may have felt like you were not on the same page, and now you're ready to talk some turkey and really get down to brass tacks. Did I say, hey, Scorpio, did I tell you enough cliches here? The bottom line is that for those of you who are partnered, you are likely going to have that sense of wanting to be on the same page and really wanting to communicate as transparently as you can, but also as authentically as possible. For some people, there may be inheritance issues that come into play because Gemini is your 8th house, and you've recently had Mars just tearing through there, and Mars is actually going to still be in this house until the 4th of the month, and then it goes into Cancer, your fellow water sign, in the 9th house. So if Mars has recently been in that 8th house, there may have been some conflict with an inheritance that you have to get ironed out. And so it just makes sense that with Mercury there, you might be talking, negotiating with other family members perhaps about something related to that. So let's look at Venus. Venus is in Aries, and she goes into Taurus on the 6th of the month, on the same day that Mercury changes signs. So Taurus is that 7th house again, and that brings harmony to that marital sector or committed partnership sector. So you've had Mercury in that house, and now you have Venus restoring harmony. If there was any kind of, misunderstandings. And in terms of the monetary influence of Venus in the 7th house, there can be, if you have clients, there might be some possible increase in the money that you earn from your clients with Venus in the 7th house. So that's nice as well. And, by the way, I wanted to say something briefly about Mars, because I had mentioned that it's going to be in your 8th house for a few days, and then on the 4th it goes into your 9th house. And this is the house of higher learning. This is what I was talking about when I was talking about the issues surrounding travel and the like, is that you're going to have Mars in this house as well. So you may feel this burning desire to go back to school and get a college degree. You may feel like you want to travel and you want to travel for a long period of time. Maybe you just have this inclination to become a gypsy. So I just want to kind of go through these three hits to your ninth house. So you have Mars going there on the 4th. You have the Sun going there at the time of the solstice on the 21st. And the new moon there 2 days later, a new beginning in this ninth house of expansion, Scorpio. So that's very exciting. The last thing, well, I wanted to say a couple of more things, because I had mentioned to you that Jupiter is going direct in your 12th house, and that is spiritual as well. There is one thing that we could talk about in terms of worldly, whatever you want to call it, influence, or in your case, accolades, because you're going to have the North Node in the 10th house. Now, this actually started in May when the North Node went from Virgo to Leo. The North Node travels backwards, and so the 10th house for you is Libra. I'm sorry, what did I say, Libra? I meant Leo. You have to understand, I haven't written everything down, so I'm just kind of winging it here. So your 10th house is Leo, Scorpio. And because of this, the North Node is going to be in this sector for the next 18 months. So this is a wonderful time for you to see what transpires with your career, because you never know where life will take you. And because you have all of these spiritual influences in the 9th house, Jupiter in your 12th house, there could be something along the lines of a career. Maybe some of you want to be a yoga teacher. Maybe some of you want to be some kind of a healer, because as a water sign, you're naturally psychic. You naturally have those spiritual gifts to share with others. And it may come in a roundabout way, that we call serendipity. So that's what I see as the North Node, but it can be in the career path. So it doesn't just have to be as something you do for volunteer work or what have you. So just keep your eyes open and your mind open for anything that comes about in June, Scorpio, because it could be a turning point in your life, and it may have to do with something involving spirituality as well. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you'd like a personalized look at your natal chart, which is much more honed in on some of the, your exact time of birth, for one thing. And by the way, if you're watching this as a Scorpio sun sign, your rising sign can be completely different, and all of these transits would be in a totally different house. I always forget to mention that you can watch as a rising sign for sure. But in any case, you can go to rainandmoonastrology.com or click on the link below this video. I will be offering, I have a special right now on natal chart interpretations, but I have other readings as well. I hope you have a blessed June. Take care of yourselves. Bye.